Live on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to PTZOptics Live, Back to Basics.
Hello guys, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about an exciting new technology called the flipped classroom.
Yes, this is something that's been really heating up in the education space, really flipping what education is doing. Instead of sending students home with homework, they're actually sending them to go look at online videos, engaging, letting people to learn at their own pace. In fact, let me show you a little B-roll of what we're going to show you today, a little foreshadowing. We're going to show you some tools on how to create engaging videos, whether it's annotation, whether it's multiple cameras, whether it's creating video for whether it's multiplication, and really how to create high quality videos for classrooms. That's what we're trying to do, because now teachers are creating video and using online video and the collaboration tools that are available for to really increase learning. And there's some amazing statistics on flipped classrooms. So Oliver, thanks. We are going to have a great show. So all of this and more, guys, is coming up next.
PTZOptics presents Back to the Basics Live. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. A high-definition broadcast on Facebook, focusing on camera line tutorials with our Chief Streaming Officer, Paul Richards, and our social media manager, Tess Protesto. Back to the Basics Live. New videos every Wednesday.
So when I was in school, I remember just about the beginning of when flipped classrooms were starting to become popular. I remember my teacher, he would walk around in front of the lecture hall and he would try to deliver an entire speech, an entire section of his speech directly to our class and to our audience. So one of the things that I learned as we were doing all of this is that the flipped classroom hadn't really come out yet. My teacher was trying to give all of the information during his class to us in the single class space. So what we've done is, instead of the teacher delivering all of the information in the classroom, they're actually allowing the students to consume that information at their own pace, at home, using the technology of the internet and online video. And then when they come back to class, and we've got a whole presentation on this, but when they come back to class, we now have the ability to be collaborative, to talk to other students, to see what other people thought about that presentation. And we come back to class, here we are at class, and we're going to have a collaborative experience and talk about it. So I've got a little presentation that I want to show you guys. Tess and I are going to take you through. Thank you to everyone in our user group who submitted photos of the cameras being used in educational settings. So let's get into this presentation and show you guys a little bit about what I'm talking about. Boom. So we're going to talk about the role of video in what's called the flipped classroom. So, Tess, it's really about learning with video, and I know you have had some experiences with this in your educational process.
Yeah, we're going to dive into a little bit of that today. In my college experience, took a few online courses and even a hybrid course, which we'll go into what that means in a little bit. But it's definitely a different yet very interactive, adaptable, forward-thinking, futuristic model that I think we're going to see a lot as time goes on.
I totally agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff. And just to really quickly give the definition, a flipped classroom is an instructional strategy, and it's a type of what's called blended learning. And Tess, I think you're right on by calling it kind of like a hybrid learning, if you will. It's really a blended learning where it reverses the traditional learning environment, and what we're doing is delivering instructional content, often online, but outside the classroom, trying to get to our students where they feel most comfortable, not in a kind of a high-pressured, learn right now while you're in class.
It's almost a little
experience.
controversial because there's definitely a transition happening here from some of the older generations, and then some newer, younger folks that are used to this type of technology in everyday life.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of us are getting used to taking online courses, online tutorials on YouTube, and it really moves the activities, including those that many have traditionally considered homework, into the classroom, and therefore flipping the classroom, allowing students to watch online lectures. I remember when watching videos was like, a bad thing during school. Now it's a good thing. Collaborating in online discussions and allowing them to carry out research at home and engage in concepts in the classroom with the guidance of a mentor. That's the
That's the gist.
Wikipedia definition.
Wikipedia. You just made up a phrase, I believe.
So
First.
I want to thank Salman Khan. He's the founder of the Khan Academy. He really came up with, or at least is credited for really pushing this. No one person can claim credit for creating the flipped classroom, but Salman Khan did such a great job of using online video. He created an entire online academy. It's a nonprofit called Khan Academy, and it was in early 2000s, and it really started to show. He said in his video, I don't know if you got a chance to watch a little bit of it.
I saw the beginning when he was simply tutoring his niece and nephew or cousins.
Yeah. And so he was in his presentation, and he was really just kind of pacing around, and he was talking, and he was thinking in his head, he was saying how when he would do YouTube videos, for example, and he'd post them online, he'd get all these comments about people who were saying how much they liked watching his videos from all around the world. People were tuning in and learning about this thing that he was calling the flipped classroom. In fact, he was saying how in his presentation that there was a time when someone said that they loved the way he was doing algebra, and they really it brightened their day doing an equation like that. So it allows people who are really good at presenting and can connect with an audience. It gives them an online platform to have a really great resource and really reach further. So what we're going to talk about today, and I think it's something that's going to be really interesting for educators around the world, is how to create your own video content. Because let's not forget, you are the teacher and you're the one who has to connect with your audience, and your audience is your classroom. And how do we bring that connectivity back? So let's get into our presentation. Salman Khan did a great job of that. And let's talk about what the flipped classroom is. We've mentioned it a little bit here, and we've actually going to have some live trivia tests. So we're going to kind of flip our presentation.
We're taking you guys to school today. If you saw my email, hope you brought your number 2 pencil and your blue book.
In fact, I think it's the perfect chance to go ahead and start our very first trivia question. For those of you who have seen this show before, if you go to streamgeeks.live, you can answer trivia. And we're going to actually flip the live stream presentation on you guys and ask you guys some questions throughout the process. So we got a quick little video that's going to prep you guys to go to streamgeeks.live and in the trivia folder. And we're going to put that link in the chat. And we're going to be asking you questions, essentially flipping the presentation around on you guys.
My case, that was funny. Drat, I have a number 1 pencil. Sean, you take conventional classes, record them, and then extend that material to the original class for review, and use it to augment online audio instruction being taught by the same instructor. Love it. This is exactly. Oh, I'm talking during the video. Am I even being heard? Okay.
Okay. There you go, Tess.
You're right.
All right, so we're going to start question 1.
Alrighty, question 1. Hope you guys headed to streamgeeks.live to participate in today's trivia. I'm ready when you are, folks. All right, Salman Khan started an organization based on the flipped classroom idea called Khan University, Salman School, Khan Academy, or Flipped University.
that's not the right layer. That's why. All right.
All right, let's see what took the lead there. Most people say Khan Academy, and that is ding, 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 correct. Who does that put in first place? Kyle, tied with not Kyle, with Mike, who did take second place last time, and then Richard also tied for first place. So this might be tougher than we thought today.
All right. So now let's do one more question, and then we'll get back to our presentation.
All right, one more. I'm standing on my tippy toes right now. All right. What does the educational tool abbreviated as LMS stand for? Learning Momentum System, Lecture Management System, or Learning Management System?
Yes, many of you may have heard of this, like Blackboard, Moodle, those
It was
types.
D2L at Westchester. WCU, represent.
D2L, and we're going to talk a little bit about your experience with that software. It was just...
I'm like the young hip one around here.
I know,
so I
it
have a
was
lot
just,
of experience in this area.
Brand new. There we go. Okay. 17 answers for Learning Management System. That is correct.
Most are agreeing on the correct answer, which is C, Learning Management System. Where does that put us on the leaderboard? Greg P. taking first place, followed by John T. and Geek.
Wow.
Tied for second.
Okay, we've got a close call here today.
Drowning. Help me.
Okay, so let's jump into our presentation. We're going to be asking you guys questions along the whole way. Whoever wins trivia has a chance to win a free live streaming camera and a whole bunch of great gear. So let's jump into our presentation and really talk about what this flipped classroom is doing for classrooms all around the country. So instead of assigning lectures as homework, we are assigning lectures as homework and using video. So whether it's a video that the teacher has created, and that's what we're going to talk about today, how teachers can create videos themselves, create high quality videos. And then the other option is having the homework and actually the students doing the homework, the traditional homework, in the classroom, where it's a collaborative space, where it's a constructive place, where people can work together to complete the homework. And that's what the real world is. Mm-hmm. The real world is when teams of people come together and solve problems. You don't just go home all by yourself and be expected to solve the problems. The real world is teams of people working together.
And you also have more of a sense of responsibility when it is on your own time and you have been given the trust to work on your own independently.
So the traditional classroom is when the teacher delivers a central focus, which is a little bit less than, they're basically the primary disseminator of information during the class period. So the teacher may respond to questions while students defer directly to the teacher for guidance and feedback, but the engagement is usually limited to activities in which the students work independently or in small groups. Whereas in the flipped classroom, which is our next slide, we're shifting all the instructions to a learner-centered model in which the class time explores the topics in much greater depth because the information has already been kind of consumed and everyone's kind of understands the information because they've already seen the lectures.
Right.
So now we're going to talk about, so we understand the flipped classroom. The flipped classroom has been really popular. Everyone's doing it. The learning management systems out there are really becoming important. Now let's talk about how teachers can create the video content that they're going to need, especially like in the high school and college level courses where this is maybe a really custom, unique, cool course, and there might not be any video content that they can just grab online. The teacher really has to make something custom. And I also think that when teachers take the time to create the video themselves, it'll connect more with their students.
Absolutely, especially if it's their own words, their own lecture, because it's exactly the correct information that they're aiming to distribute.
So one of the biggest things with the flipped classroom is the engagement. Because now we're taking the education and we're delivering it, the education is a large word, but we're taking the kind of the dissemination of information, allowing the students to do it on their own time, and allowing them to engage with the content in the classroom, and the engagement really happens right there where this like kind of shared time is happening here, and it really is it's a fun time. So that's what we want to focus on, is creating
Promoting
content,
engagement.
promoting engagement. So, and this goes further than just creating the videos, whether it's creating quizzes or creating content for the learning management systems that your students want to engage with. Like, you're asking questions, you're giving quizzes, you're providing supporting material, and all of that will just create more engaged students. So this is really a paradigm shift, and it's allowing students to learn at their own pace. And Tess, you did a little bit of this. In fact, you've done the hybrid class, where there's a learning management system that is in support of the classroom experience, but you were also telling me you've actually done totally online courses as well.
Yeah, with the hybrid course, and there's a slide on this later, kind of looks like you have the option to attend the class physically. The teacher will be there, but he also records himself, he or she, and then posts the lecture online later on that evening, so you have the opportunity to watch it on demand. But that will be accommodated, accommodated. Well, you will have to take some sort of quiz or something to prove that you were there that day, that you did watch that day's lecture and did participate. There's just a little bit less of a constriction on timing.
Yes.
So it's not like you have to finish everything by the end of the week. There are some more deadlines, but if you can't make it into class that day, then you have that flexibility.
Yeah, and it's really just moving away from the lectures coming from the teachers and having the students kind of, and especially let's be honest, people that have kids, people that have an extra job, people that are trying to get the education that they need to move forward in their careers, but can't necessarily drop what they're doing and meet a specific time zone.
For me, it was all about not having to have childcare during that time. If I could do my stuff in the evening, then I wouldn't have to worry about Jace.
Yeah, it's a huge, and not only is it a huge economy, but it's a huge enabler for people who just can't make that normal classroom schedule. Right. And learning how to select creating engaging video content for the homework assignments. So it really is, this transition's happening, but we're hoping to help teachers create more engaging content. For example, being able to annotate on top of a live video as you are presenting, making it more engaging, drawing your audience's attention into what's important to you, and using that learning management system, which technically has live video built in, has video recording built in, but does it have the tools that you need to make it effective? And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and Kyle points out the one thing that teachers don't have is time. But if you are able to collaborate, this might be on the higher education level, like at the collegiate level, but if you have that learning management system, that does save you, because there's all that automatic grading, and you don't have to grade the quizzes. And I understand, posting the video can take some time, but if you just record your lecture that's already there, I feel like it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, and we're going to have some ideas for capturing content. Maybe if, Kyle, I know, is in like an IT support position for the teachers, and maybe, in the early years of this transition into flipped classrooms, maybe he's helping them,
with
set
the
up
smart
a camera.
boards, I can imagine.
I know he was helping with the smart boards. I mean, he has to do a lot of assistance with the teachers because they don't have as much time, they're focused. And I think a lot of this learning management systems will save them time. Like you said, the automatic grading of quizzes, spending more time in the engaging, constructive, collaborative space in the classroom, and allowing the students to take the lectures at night or on their own time as homework. But Tess, since we have this slide up, the hybrid classroom, what did you mean by this when you came up with this idea? Well, you've been in a classroom like this, right?
Yeah, I basically just jotted down here, the format of that class allows the students the opportunity to attend class physically or remotely via, now this is in the form of a recorded video. Maybe next week or when we get back from NAB, we can talk about live educational experiences. Some of the benefits that you can have online using that management learning platform. You can still get the accountability, attendance, and participation via,
if it's live.
Well, not even, because with those time restrictions, you can make sure that they've consumed a certain amount of information by a certain time by testing them on their knowledge of it. So that's kind of the idea. Though our finals were always in person.
And I think that it's great to have some in-person connection and make it real. The other thing that I was going to mention is that Tess was briefly mentioning live. So today we're talking about the flipped classroom. I'll just write FC. In 3 weeks, when we get back from our NAB show, we're going to be talking about live learning, LL, or live, a little bit more like a live webinar, and also classroom hours. Sometimes teachers now have classroom hours where students can video conference with them and ask them face-to-face questions. It's like an open video conference call. And then after that, we are going to be talking about the flipped presentation, more geared toward real businesses, small businesses, how these types of technologies, these online learning spaces are
This is an
really...
interesting comment from Kyle.
Yeah, what would this be?
Kyle has helped the art teacher record and upload her training videos. The students then refer to the videos on tablets while working on their projects.
Wow.
That can save the teacher a lot of time and teachers, I know one of their things is repeating the same answers when kids aren't listening.
Oh my gosh,
So if
I
they
know.
can just be like, seriously, I told you this 10 times. Head to that video if you need to see the instructions again, because I'm not doing it.
I love it. Yeah, because I mean, teachers' jobs are not easy, and I wish that they were paid more, honestly, because it's not an easy job.
Great point from Sebastian, who's his first time watching live.
Oh, wow. This
Hey,
type
Sebastian.
of education allows people with disabilities more convenient ways to learn due to accessibility needs. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Sebastian. There is actually a version of flipped. There's like 4 or 5, 6, maybe 10 versions of flipped classrooms. It's flipped learning plus gamification, making it more games. But there's also one, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's flipped learning plus accessibility, or something along those lines. Inclusion, I think it's called. There's a quiz question about this. I think it's inclusion, where it's including additional special needs
Right.
variabilities there.
Yeah, if you have
to
any
support.
physical disadvantage. I mean, I was 8 months pregnant on campus. If I could have had all my classes online, that would have saved me a lot of walking.
Oh, this is a great conversation. Let's go to question number 3. Keep our trivia going. We've only got 7 questions for you guys, so we'll jump into our next trivia question.
Let's try and adjust this camera a little bit if we can.
Yeah,
is
or
it-
maybe we could just go to the
is it
split
Z
view.
What is?
And don't worry about doing it live.
Tips. I was on my tips.
I know. Maybe
All right, I can go on the tippy toes. No
I'm
problem.
sorry. Well, let's go to our next trivia question. All right. That's the wrong one, Mike. All right. True or false? Podcasts can be used in the flipped classroom. It's this one.
Can podcasts be used in the flipped classroom?
Podcasts. So now we're not talking necessarily about video. We're talking about podcast audio experiences, whether it's a lecture or an interview. There's a lot of podcasts out
Isn't
there.
this kind of opinion based?
It is. But let's see. This one is very opinion based. So yes,
Okay, good, 'cause
podcasts
I was gonna
definitely.
say,
I would. Yeah, they
right?
definitely can. So that's definitely a yes on that one.
True.
Ding ding ding. All right, true. And Greg P.
in the lead.
All right,
Nice
Greg.
work, Greg.
Good job.
Do you
All
wanna
right,
do
so
another one?
let's do another one.
I'm so short. What is the best example of flipped classroom work inside the classroom?
Would it be A, doing homework in class, B, a teacher lecture, C, watching videos, or D, doing online quizzes? This is the best example of a flipped classroom inside the classroom. What would they be doing in this flipped classroom? There. Well, it was a little bit of a savage question, but the majority of people got that one right. Yes, doing the homework in class. I used to get in trouble for that.
Savage question.
Savage question. I used to get in trouble for doing my homework in class.
I know.
I used to like doing that.
Well, probably because you would be doing last night's homework in the first
Yes.
5 minutes when they were
I've
taking
done it.
attendance.
I've done it before. And the teachers,
I've been there.
There
No,
we
I've
go.
been in the lunchroom. Come on, we've all been there. At
Kyle
lunch,
comes
like,
up the first, tied with Greg.
Kyle tied with Greg.
Woo! All right. So let's save the last 3 for a couple more. Let's go to our next slide. Our next presentation slide. We'll go through this with you guys. Really kind of stay engaging and fun. This is going to be a fun presentation about flipped classrooms. Here we go. And then, Mike, this back TV, we should probably have, I don't know what camera, but not the main feed. So
Another diagram here.
Another diagram. So we've got
Looks like a flower.
education. It does look like a flower. We have engagement. And then we talked about that. What's fun and what's been happening a lot is competition, just friendly competition.
There's certainly a lot of that in the chat.
And friendly incentives. And we're doing that now. We're doing live trivia. There's an incentive because someone's going to win possibly a live streaming camera or a spin on the wheel. And there's a little bit of friendly competition going on. That's happening in the classroom. It's called gamification. And turning learning into a game, making it fun. A lot of people are realizing, and the results are coming out.
Take
there's
the
no
burning
reason.
out of learning.
Oh, I like that.
Or the burning out of learning.
The burning out of learning. So that's just a slide, just something to think about. Online course structure, Tess. What is this all about?
Online course structure, of course.
Yeah.
If a course is 100% online, this isn't going to be in the secondary education or elementary education space, but this might be something that is business driven. Something like offering streaming courses and what have you, and of course at the collegiate level. It's usually audio and or video presentation accompanied by slides, graphics, what have
I'm glad you. So as you guys can see, we're trying to make like a use case.
Very similar to what we do.
Yeah, this is what we're doing right here. We've
All the
got
time.
the presentation. We've got slides, and you can pull that in with live video. And that's something we're going to be talking about. For example, actually, can we show the overhead camera? This is something I wanted to, at some point, jump into. Thumbs up, not thumbs down.
Ultimate thumb war. Ready? Go. You're going down.
No!
You let me win.
All right, fine, I'll let you win. But we just wanted to show that because just imagine that space there is to show your students. We didn't have anything prepared. We should have had something better prepared.
The thumb war was pretty good.
Let's imagine that this is what you're preparing to show to your students. And if you can hold that open for me, Tess. Now we can show something, page 1, and we can show a diagram. Maybe go to the next page. Who are these lovely ladies? Who are these lovely ladies here? And so this is just, again, we're just trying to show examples here, but for your teachers to be able to have a view of their notebook and give them ideas.
Old, see-through projector things that you would draw on with whiteboard marker. Yeah, remember them?
Yeah, I forget what they were called. Slide projectors. But you can see how crisp and clean that is. These cameras are really great for that, and for the flipped classroom, more and more teachers are going to need access to better cameras to create the good video that they need. Do you have any stats on what sort of difference flipped classroom makes compared? Yes, I promise, Ted, if you can hang out for a moment. We're going to flip this. Yes, we definitely have some stats in our presentation coming up in just a moment. So,
ooh, this is interesting.
Okay. Our science teacher used document video cameras like that to show live dissections. Oh, yes. That
creepy.
I feel like everyone's seen that.
Overhead projectors, thank you.
Overhead projectors, yes. And you know what else they do? I'm sure, Kyle, in chemistry, a lot of times they have the microscopes attached to a camera, so you can see the microscopes really up and enlarged. But here's some real world results for you, Ted. In 2011, educators in Michigan, this is the Clintondale High School, flipped every classroom. Principal Greg Green led an effort to help teachers develop plans for flipped classrooms and worked with the social studies teacher, Andy Scheel, to run 2 classes with identical material and assignments, one flipped and one conventional. The flipped class had many students who had already failed the class, some multiple times. After 20 weeks, students in the flipped class were outperforming students in the traditional classes. Further, no students in the flipped classroom scored lower than a C+, while the previous semester, 13% had failed. So, and this is something, there is so much information about this. You can go on Wikipedia. I just pulled one blurb from Wikipedia that I thought was very impactful. But students like to learn on their own time. They're learning with video.
It can be scary, though, because there's a great responsibility that comes along with that. So you have to have students that are ready to learn.
Yeah, it's true. But it also prepares them for the real world, I feel like. It does,
because, you're on your own. When your boss tells you to get something done.
You got to research it yourself.
You're not always being looked at.
Part of the flipped classroom, it's not always watching a video either. Sometimes it's watching a video, responding to it, and then doing research about it. So there's a lot that the flipped classroom does, but it allows students to go out into the world on their own, and that's a great life skill in itself. So here's some video content creation ideas that we've already kind of gone over a couple of these. So video annotation, we talked about that. Document cameras, overhead cameras, we showed a little presentation of that. A main presentation camera, and then the only thing we didn't show, and we have free courses on this, so I'm going to leave this up, but video creation software. A lot of teachers I know use something called Camtasia. There's a lot of learning management systems except a webcam. So I've got a couple free courses on this, but we use something called vMix, a little bit advanced for what probably teachers need. But we've got a couple. I think the next slide maybe shows a little bit about.
Hey, Heather.
There's the overhead camera. Hi, Heather. Why did we talk to Heather recently? I forget. Heather just called or something. Original content. One of the things, and this is the part where I think the audiovisual and the IT departments can help, is that a lot of schools actually pay speakers to come into the school. In fact, a lot of times, like in my college, the very first year, the freshman class had a book we all had to read.
Really?
Yeah. And everyone read the book, and then they paid a good sum of money to have the author come in and make a presentation to all these students who had just read the book.
Okay.
But they didn't record it. And that video should have been recorded. A lot of assemblies should be recorded. Different things should be recorded. And these recordings can then feed into the flipped classroom. And Kyle's asking, could the Z-Cam be adapted to microscopes like you did with the telescopes? And yes, depending on the eyepiece.
Have to find one. We'll have. I'm sure Paul will be
I
researching
know
that
that I've heard about it, and that would be a great thing. We're trying to keep this flipped classroom idea in the top of our head with our content, so I'm going to try to see if I can get a microscope that would work with that. But yes, let us know what microscopes you have, and maybe we could see if we could send you one as a case study. So sharing lectures and presentations are obviously very important. And I think that what the teachers need to do, and what we're trying to help you guys do, is take it beyond just, if the teachers are going to give a lecture, and that's what they were planning on doing in the classroom, can we get them to make it just a little bit more engaging, because we're delivering this via video now, and we have all these extra tools that we can use. Mm-hmm. So we use an interactive trivia service called CrowdPer that I could see being used in the classroom. Live trivia is a great way. Why don't we do another live trivia question?
Let's do it. Wait, I am supposed to be standing here.
Which one's Mike going to switch to? The side-by-side or the circle in the middle? Is he going to make you stand on your toes? Or
The world may never know.
All right, we're going to go to, here we go.
Flipped mystery.
Mastery.
Mastery is a new teaching style that does what? A, provides a fixed amount of learning time per topic, or B, requires students to master a topic before moving on.
We haven't even
What
had a
could it
chance to make
be?
fun of
What
your
could
shirt
it
yet
be?
either. Not make fun of it, but think about how
He's
funny
mad.
it is. Yes, requires students to master a topic before moving on. That's one of the key components of flipped learning, and flipped classrooms, and flipped mastery just takes it a step further. Kyle jumping in the lead. He's from the education
Wow,
space. He knows a lot
Kyle.
about this. Kyle jumping into first place.
Poor Kyle,
Congratulations.
because everybody gives him a hard time now. It's hard to be a winner.
Well, we got to keep going until he
Let's do
wins a
another one.
camera. Let's do another one. Let's do the split. Let's do the split side by side.
Gamification is
Yeah,
a
gamification.
step forward in flipped mastery, but that does what? Uses online quizzes, uses trivia-like games, uses online tests, or is no fun at all.
Gamification. Is it online quizzes, trivia like games, or online tests? Or just no fun at all?
I've been miming you.
Uses trivia like games. That is correct. This is gamification right now. We're gamifying our education, which our presentations are slightly educational. Kyle stays in the lead at 460. There's
stays
one
in the
more
lead at
question. We'll
460.
save the last question until we're done the presentation.
Sure.
And we got one last question. Hold off, guys, to see who wins trivia. One last question. We got just a couple more slides for you guys, and then of course we're here to answer Q&A throughout this whole process. So, boom shaka. So we talked about creating an interactive experience. You guys are seeing that live as we go through this presentation. And the video capture software, I just want to mention this. This really is the end of the presentation here.
Never heard of Kahoot. We'll have to look into that.
Kahoot sounds like a good one. Oh, Kahoot for gamification. I want to look into that. Kahoot. Thank you, Christopher. I want to look at that. Video capture software is live streaming software, video production software, video content capture software. There's lecture capture software. There's a million different words for it. But let me just show you a quick diagram here of what to look out for in this next slide here. So these are live streaming softwares that I actually offer. I offer free courses on these softwares. And in general, the more feature-rich something is, the harder it is to use. So we want something that's very easy for the teachers. XSplit is very easy to use. OBS is generally very easy to use. I'm a big fan of XSplit for what it can do for teachers. But another one here, Camtasia, is really good. I'm not sure what other teachers use, but just in general, there could be a steep learning curve. And honestly, it could be more than the teachers are after. We have to look for something easy for them that's going to work for them. And
not too time-consuming to learn.
Not too time-consuming to learn. And so that's what you guys should be looking for when you're trying to enable teachers with the right tools. Now, we're going to have some follow-up presentations. So today we covered the flipped classroom on that should say April. April 18th. Sorry, not March. April. See, look at this. The annotation software is saving my butt. April 18th, we will be going over, on April 18th, we'll be going over live learning. So a little bit more.
Mimo Live is used by a lot of teachers.
Oh, yes. Mimo Live is used by a lot of teachers. And I don't know if you noticed, Oliver, but I had Mimo Live as one of the easier ones to learn because I think it is very easy to learn. And then flipped presentation spaces. This is more looking at it from a business perspective. April 25th, not March. So we're going to have some follow-up presentations, and we'd love to hear from you guys if you have any questions. Additional learning, you can download free coupon codes to take any of my courses. I have over 10,000 students taking these courses, and I'd love for you to be one of them. And I answer questions and have my students we interact and have fun. And it is essentially flipped learning. If this is the classroom, if our live show is the classroom, the homework is the courses. And that has been a really effective way 10,000 people taking the courses. It's really been fun. You can learn more on our YouTube channel. We'd love for you to subscribe. And if you subscribe right now, this button right here will go up. So we are at 7,249. We'd love for you to hit that subscribe button, and you'll see this go up just boop. One right there if you're
just
watching
like
on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, we would love for you to like us over there.
We need to bump Facebook up. Let's go, Facebook.
If you're over there on Facebook, we need your help too. So, +1! Thank you for subscribing. Yay! We're at 7250. Thank you for subscribing.
Oh, yeah.
This is our classroom. YouTube and Facebook is our classroom, and our online courses and things that we offer are our flipped classroom. And let's just answer some questions, Tess. And I'm actually going to pace around a little. Oh, we've got a giveaway.
And we have to finish the trivia.
And we have to finish the trivia. Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Let's finish the trivia and then we'll do the giveaway.
You're so funny.
Let's do the side-by-side shot of the trivia. I thought that looked really good. Back.
You're good.
Ding. Okay. Last trivia question.
Gamification.
No,
is
this weird.
step
This one.
There you go.
Of mystery. This type of flipped classroom is being used to benefit students with disabilities. Is it A, challenge-based learning, B, cooperative learning, C, gamification, or D, inclusive classroom?
Yes, we talked about this a little bit during the presentation about students with disabilities.
1 second here. Ding, 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 ding. Majority said
Yes,
D,
the
inclusive
inclusive
classroom. I think that's
classroom.
kind of a keyword there. Inclusive to help you get that one right. Correcto Mundo. Inclusive classroom. Want to include everyone.
Kyle jumping into first
Kyle
place.
holding his ground in first place.
Now, Tess, can you explain this shirt you're wearing?
This is a very important shirt designed by yours truly.
Tess designed it.
It's for sale on streamgeeks.shop if you guys want to look as fly as this.
Maybe we'll show the pan tilt zoom dance.
Okay, yeah, there's a dance.
There's a dance that goes with
Yeah,
it.
it's like
Tilt, zoom.
something like
So
yeah.
we're working on it
figure it
still. But okay, so that puts Kyle in first. We're gonna pull our winner if they don't come up. Kyle, you get the spin, and we're gonna be answering questions in the chat. So Tess, go ahead and pull a winner. I'm gonna do some pacing, if you guys don't mind, a little pacing, because I remember when I was in school. And learning
he'll also
management.
be caressing his non-existent beard.
The non-existent beard will be caressed. So I remember when I was in school, this is, going back to my college days, and I remember the professor would walk up in front of the classroom and he would do this presentation.
Yevgeny Pokotuni.
Okay, Tess is Veni Potuni, you have won the giveaway. We're going to call you if you're here. If not, Kyle, congratulations, you win.
Sorry I butchered that name.
And I remember that while I was doing the teachers that I connected with the most, I remember that they were, the ones that were using the technology. They were the ones that, actually had video available. Adding video, if you're a teacher, really connects with the audience. I remember from time to time as I was taking courses, and the learning management system was really a great resource for me to go on there and see what I had missed. If I was sick for a day and the lecture was captured, and I could go rewatch something and learn it at my own pace. A lot of times students, when they're in the classroom, it's a little bit competitive and they don't want to raise their hand and ask a question and look stupid or look dumb. Even though no question is dumb, there's still some, there's something there that makes you a little bit self-conscious being in front of all your peers. So by removing that layer of self-consciousness and allowing the students to take the courses at their own pace, their own time, it really makes a big difference. And I think that in this flipped classroom world, you can make so much better impact with a larger group of students, really connect with them using this great technology. So, Tess, looks like we're spinning for Kyle.
Looks like we are.
All right, let me get the wheel.
Let's do it. No, the wheel, yeah. Right there.
Okay. All right, so we're looking for free camera, obviously, but there's a lot of great new stuff on here. There's an IP joystick, Wirecast license, which I'm sure your teachers would love. A whole bunch of stuff on here. Okay? Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
All right, can I spin?
Yep.
Here we go. What is that?
Is it an IP joystick?
IP joystick.
Really?
Yes, congratulations. Kyle, that's a
Kyle,
PTZOptics.
did we already send you an IP joystick?
I'm not sure if we got an IP
Let me
joystick
know.
already. But now we're just going to go back to our chairs over here, and we are going to answer questions in the chat room. So that's our show, and we're here to answer questions now. If needed, we're here. If you've got any questions, let us know. And thank you so much for watching. This is a fun show. We love having you here, guys. And let's jump into a fun presentation.
Fun presentation.
Wait, no, there are no more fun presentations.
All right, Kyle does have a joystick.
Oh, you do? Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess one for every teacher then, I guess.
My goodness.
Is it an IP joystick or is it the regular joystick? Can't remember. But it's good to have more than one, just in case you need to have them in multiple locations, maybe. So, how long until Honey's beard is complete? Yeah. Oh, I guess it's really a 5 o'clock shadow. Barely.
I got a longer beard than you at this point.
I know. Goodness. Look at that. If there's any serious questions in the chat, we'd love to answer them. Otherwise, we'll wrap this presentation up. 45 minutes long. I think it was a great presentation. I really enjoyed the pacing. Could you tell I was enjoying that?
Yes, you were telling your stories. You seemed very official.
was
You
like,
looked like you were just in the middle of a TED Talk.
Yeah.
I must say.
That's what it was. That's what we were going for, is the TED Talk style.
They're saying grow it out.
Grow it out.
I've said that to him too. I'm just kind of curious to see. He doesn't
it
even
doesn't.
know. He doesn't even know what it looks like because he hasn't, grown it out in years.
No, I haven't.
So you don't even know. You might be very much more manly now.
I saw a beard competition where the guys were like had like huge beards, and
Yeah.
I know they're gonna put me to shame. I know it.
Well, we'll see. Maybe after NAB.
Yeah. Let's wait till after NMA.
Yes. Nobody noticed that you got a haircut too.
Oh, I forgot to mention, haircut's looking fly. No, I forgot to mention there is no show this Friday. So it's Good Friday. Our company observes that as a holiday, so we will not be in the office this Friday. Any educational discounts? Ryan, that's a great question for this show. And I am sure that resellers out there would be happy to give discounts to educational institutions. We work through resellers so that you have local people to work with. Can you show us how to set up your camera studio lighting? Oh, that's a good one. That deserves its own an entire show on the lighting. It's a lot. And I don't know if you noticed, but we actually like moved some of the lights during the show because we need more, because we have 2 sets. So we've got like these lights, and then when we move over there, we like swivel. I don't know if you can show like maybe like one shot where I'll just show some of the swivels maybe.
Yeah.
I'll just briefly show. I think Mike has a shot that we could show for this, but we move the lights around a little bit just because we're a little light-handed on the lights. We're light-handed on the lights. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this one, for example, up here. So sometimes I'll actually I'll swivel this one because this is a really powerful one. So I'll swivel that one depending on what we need. There we go. Boop. It's actually very directional too. This one I will swivel depending if we're going that way or this way. And then there's even more. Like I've got one back here that I'll swivel from time to time. That's my backlight.
Should put that up front this time.
Yeah, I know. And it just there's a lot of swiveling going on because we've just got so much. But that's essentially close. This is a brief preview. We're going to do a much better explanation of that in another show. Yes, everything's LED. Except for this one behind us.
Which is hot.
It's very hot. You can see...
You're making the levels go up.
I was.
So you can see this one is on a fader, though. And it's those old Edison bulbs.
It's a mixture of Durcast and broadcast LED lights.
Yes. Durcast and broadcast LED are the 2 lights we're using. All LED.
Ryan, first time watching live.
Hey, Ryan.
Thank you for being here. Part of the fam.
Yay. Happy to have you. Got a lot of great stuff coming up. Next week is all about NAB. And we're doing a double broadcast.
Mark, I can't even comment on that.
Okay, yes. There are some things we can't comment on. We got in trouble for saying the word, I'm just going to say the word fart. We said once. And we got in trouble. I shouldn't mention that. But I was just saying there's some things it's better not to mention.
Do you want to talk about
Yet he continues to mention them.
Yes, I shouldn't have mentioned it. Last thing here, I want to talk about the book. If you're out there and you're wondering, how the heck did these guys start live streaming in this studio? This tells the past 3 years of our story. It's available on Amazon and Kindle. And if you want a free ebook PDF, just email me at paul.richards@streamgeeks.us. I'll email it to you. But essentially, it all started in a conference room in the back of our office. And then slowly, step by step, we were learning how it all worked. And I cataloged it all into a nice little teeny book that's an easy read.
Yeah, and we'll bring some of these to NAB because we're going to be at NAB in Las Vegas in just over a week. So be sure to visit us. We're in Central Hall, booth C9945.
Yes.
The whole crew is going to be there.
The whole crew's going to be there. And
We're going to have guests every day. We're talking to everybody that's in the live streaming, fan club here that we love so much. And we're also going to be doing some appearances.
Yeah, we're going to be on the NAB show, both of us.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be fun.
And it's just going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for
Great.
watching, everybody. We really enjoy having you.
How in the heck did we start?
Yes, if that's the question that you're asking, the book is where it's all at, Mark. It's a quick read.
Oliver, email me.
We definitely,
email you.
I definitely didn't write that book to make money selling books. So if you want the PDF version for free and you want to read it on your iPad or
LED
something,
Edison bulbs are a thing.
send me an email. I'll send it to you. But if you want to read the real book copy and get a signed copy or whatever, if you want to support us, go to Amazon.
Live training
buy
to
the
go
book.
with. Oh, Chad, that's very interesting.
But it's a fun book. It's color pictures, and it just shows the whole thing. You wonder sometimes how, because it's difficult.
Easy for us to start, though, because this business sells live streaming broadcasting cameras.
Yes.
So essentially, it started with using our products to create informational marketing content.
And there's a lot more, and it's all catalyzed in the book, from marketing to sales.
Yeah, then we found
to
out the type of community you can grow with video.
Yeah. We found out
So we built the fam.
we found out these custom T-shirts, pan tilt zoom T-shirts, would just sell off the shelves.
Nobody's bought one
As
yet of
soon-
these.
no one
so
has bought one yet.
Feel free to buy
The first one,
and,
yeah.
and rep to NAB, and we'll take a selfie together. And if
Yeah,
you do pick
I know
up
it's
one of
true.
these shirts or any shirts from us, please tag us in a photo.
Yes,
Just
please.
like Jimmy did in the user group. That was freaking awesome.
That was so cool.
Loved seeing that sweet angel wearing our Stream Geek shirt. I'm going
Yes.
to do the dance. Okay, so it's pan, tilt, zoom.
Oh, that's the dance. Okay, I see.
Okay. All right. Yeah? You wanna
Yeah,
do it with me? And then we'll
all right,
close,
all right, I
we'll
think-
close
we'll
up
close
shop.
the show. All right.
You ready?
You can't see me though.
All right. You ready?
Here, wait. Let me
Pan.
zoom out. Let me zoom out a little. Because you can't see me.
And you got to do a quick video. If you get this shirt
right,
and do a
here we go.
video,
Here we
you
go.
seriously, we'll give you something.
All right.
Do your pan.
Ready? Do your pan, do your tilt, do your zoom.
Do your pan.
All right, that's it. That's it. Only once. All right, that's our show, folks. We're gonna make a music video on it soon. It's coming to iTunes store near you.
MTV. We'll see you soon.
See you, folks.